Got to get cleaned up.
Rebuilding from disaster.
It's overwhelming. I mean, we've been working solid since February 28th.
While most wait for the county to start debris removal, some are choosing to get started now.
Thank God we're getting progress and we can move forward.
The president says we've hit a new moment in the pandemic.
It means that COVID-19 no longer controls our lives.
The White House releases a new tool to help find testing and treatment sites.
No longer will Americans have to scour the internet to find vaccines, treatments, tests, or masks.
While COVID-19 sites in Colorado close up shop.
The access isn't going away. It's just shifting of where those things will be available.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Micah Smith.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. It has been exactly 3 months now since the Marshall Fire, and neighborhoods burned in Superior and Louisville and unincorporated Boulder County still sit with tons of debris.
But finally, the company contracted to begin the public debris removal process has started assessing the area. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us live now in Louisville.
And Colette, some families have decided they are just tired of waiting, so they're going to start this cleanup process privately.
Yeah, and guys, you can see these machines behind me. They just stopped working for the day, but they've been out here for around a month now, with homeowners actually come out to watch them as they work. Now, Boulder County tells me around 800 have opted into that public option, but 200 opting in for this private option. Some say they're just sick of waiting. Others feel forced into it by their insurance. Aaron Doyle just finished his day at the base of the Flatirons.
All in all, this looks like a prescribed fire.
After fighting the in-car fire over the weekend.
I just have to tell myself, like, I did everything I could in there.
But when he looks out at the view of Boulder County.
Yeah. What a day, that Marshall Fire.
He's brought back to the end of December.
In the heat of battle, it's pretty easy to tuck your emotions away, but afterward, that's when our firefighters tend to struggle as well.
That day burned into his memory.
Yeah, I got a little windy on me for a second.
Recovering, I guess, is where I would say I am now.
Where grass is starting to grow in neighborhoods forever scarred.
It's been a nightmare trying to figure out how to make forward progress.
Timothy LaFoley had been waiting since the first step to that forward progress is removing tons of debris.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We'll get back to you.
But he couldn't wait any longer because of insurance reasons and decided to take on the cleanup process privately.
I've been out here for 2 days watching the dance of the machinery, doing pirouettes on the edges of the craters where your house used to be.
They're tired of looking at the burned out house. You know, it's just emotionally devastating for them.
Kyle Baber, who's clearing the lots.
You know, every day, like I picked up 4 today, new ones. I just picked up these 2 houses back here that are on the edge that we're...
Says they can get the bulk of the property cleaned in just over a day.
Thank God. Thank God we're getting progress and we can move forward.
While it's satisfying to watch the work, it's hard to see the memories cleared.
We lost my daughter, Ashlyn, back in February of 2021. And the most painful part of the fires was coming to the realization that everything we owned is gone, but also everything my daughter owned is gone now as well.
There's a memorial bench for their daughter just outside the neighborhood.
All the trees around it are scarred and burned, but the bench is still there. We're still here. We'll rebuild it. We'll get back.
Every house with their own history and reason they want to rebuild. The company contracted for the cleanup by Boulder County, the town of Superior, and city of Louisville just started their prep work about a week ago. There will be a list released on Friday with the first homes that will begin this removal process. Those with Boulder County tell me those will be from all 3 areas. They also say once that removal process gets going, it'll take around 4 months to complete. Live in Louisville, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
So much loss, Colette, but it is good to see some progress out there. Colette Bordelon tonight. And tomorrow is the final day for the Marshall Fire victims to apply for disaster assistance through Boulder County. And this is for those whose homes were damaged or destroyed, or for people displaced because of smoke or ash contamination. You can find a link to apply on the Boulder County website.
The Boulder County Sheriff is asking anyone who might have been near the trail south of the in-car fire to call them if they noticed anything suspicious. Firefighters haven't yet determined what caused the fire, which grew to 190 acres. At last update, it was 90% contained, and crews were focusing on putting out hotspots. And with the NCAR fire as well as the Marshall Fire in mind, today Congressman Joe Neguse spoke on the U.S. House floor pushing for action on his Wildfire Recovery Act. Congressman Neguse told us today that Colorado serves as an example that so many communities are under year-round threats from possible wildfires.
We have fire years. This is not a seasonal priority for me, right? It's a year-round priority. It is at the top of our list when it comes to our legislative portfolio. And it's not just about my communities. At the end of the day, what happened in Louisville, what happened in Superior, could just as easily happen in Arvada, in Golden, in Morrison, in Highlands Ranch, across the Front Range, north and south.
The Wildfire Recovery Act has been introduced and is waiting for action on the House floor.
We have some breaking news right now. Eastbound I-70 just closed at Loveland Pass because of a crash. Now, eastbound lanes of the interstate closed between Silverthorne and the Eisenhower Tunnel. No expected timeline on when the eastbound lanes will reopen.
Also breaking, we're learning that Will Smith was asked to leave the Oscar ceremony but refused after slapping Chris Rock on stage.
So in a new statement just out from the Academy, they say they have initiated disciplinary proceedings against Will Smith for violating their standards of conduct. Now, he could face suspension, expulsion, or other sanctions from the Academy. Also, the Academy is apologizing to Chris Rock and thanking him for, quote, his resilience in that moment. The Academy will meet in 3 weeks to decide on any disciplinary action for Will Smith. Well, today President Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and told him the U.S. will provide another $500 million in direct budgetary aid to his country. And following peace talks between Russia and Ukraine yesterday, the Pentagon confirms it is seeing small numbers of Russian troops moving away from Kyiv, but says troops are not fully withdrawing. And the White House also said today they believe Russian President Vladimir Putin is being misinformed by his own advisor on the war and the performance of the Russian military because his advisors are too afraid to tell him the truth, that the invasion is not going as well as planned.
We're now in a new moment in this pandemic. It does not mean that COVID-19 is over. It means that COVID-19 no longer controls our lives.
President Biden got his second booster shot today during a press conference, which was just authorized by the CDC for those 50 and older. He also, again, raised concerns about Congress so far declining to extend COVID funding. A senior administration official tells ABC almost 95% of the Americans Rescue Plan funds allocated to fight the coronavirus have been spent. The president also unveiled a new website, covid.gov, which allows Americans access to over 2,000 test-to-treat sites across the country.
Now, here in Colorado, several of the state's mass vaccination sites, including at Dick's Sporting Goods Park and Waterworld, will be shutting down. Number 7's Ivan Rodriguez is live. Ivan, you discovered not everybody's thrilled with these closings.
That's right, but the state health department says it's winding down these big sites. It says also partly into the state's plan of the roadmap for the next phase of the pandemic, really shifting the focus to a community-oriented approach. Many sites, including Dick's Sporting Goods Park and Waterworld, were some of the first to provide relief to thousands at the height of the pandemic. Now on Thursday, both locations, along with other large COVID-19 vaccination sites, will be shutting down.
We feel well prepared for this transition.
The state health department says this is part of the governor's roadmap to moving forward.
We have almost 82% of eligible Coloradans have gotten at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. And we're just in a different place where we have broader immunity.
Although state health officials say accessibility will not be impacted by the removal of these sites, one doctor with CU Anschutz is concerned with scaling back too quickly.
COVID vaccines, one could make the argument that over time, those could become much more limited and access would be more through insurance or through other payment methods. We are definitely not there yet, though. So access and distribution of vaccines is still critical in ensuring that this doesn't come roaring back out of the background.
Tri-County Health has many state-run sites in its area and says it has seen a dramatic decrease in people using them.
We are seeing just over about 300 individuals being vaccinated per week at these large community sites. So it's been a significant reduction as compared to the thousands we were seeing many months ago.
Although the large sites are going away, they're confident access won't.
As we continue to move into that more sustainable model, the work is not done, and we know that there's still more to do. And to make sure that it's accessible to our communities, we're looking at other strategies too. We still have access to mobile vaccine clinics where we can go into some of our harder to reach communities.
If need be, the state also says it could have all large sites back online in about a month. The state health department also reports there are close to 2,000 vaccine clinics still enrolled in the vaccination program. Community testing sites are also expected to remain open for the next couple of months, as will the state's vaccination buses that they usually deploy into different communities. Live in Denver, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
As millions flee, a Colorado veterinarian rushes to the Ukrainian border to help.
They get settled in, we'll connect with them and say, would you like us to help you with your pet?
There are a few snow showers out there right now, but milder and drier days are on the way.
And Bruce Willis's private battle becomes public.
His progression is going to be slow over the course of years.
More about the condition that has the star stepping away from acting.
Even if they have trouble speaking and understanding, they can still live really high quality lives.